Hello, I am Roger Pine from Holistiplan. This is our Winning with Holistiplan series, and I'm here with Kara Downey, Molly Balunek, and they're with Endeavor Wealth Advisors in Ohio. Thank you for joining me, y'all. It's great to see both of you on the program today. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having us.
It'll be fun.
And by the way, for those wondering why I'm wearing this ridiculous shirt, this is a tuxedo. We wear this to remind ourselves that tax planning doesn't have to be super serious. It doesn't have to be that hard, especially when you have great tools like Holistiplan. So, all right. So I would like to hear from y'all. How did you team up? How did you start your firm, build your firm?
Well, it's kind of a neat story. Molly and I met about 20 years ago when we worked together at the same firm. And we worked together about 7 years, I think, before Molly left to start her own firm. But we became very close when we worked together, and just always daydreamed about the day that we would become business partners or work together or do our own thing. And it took about 18 years for that dream to come to a reality. But we had taken a little bit different paths in between. I had started a firm, she had started a firm. We shared some office space for a while, and it became pretty evident that, you know, what we had talked about many years prior was a really good course of action for us to merge our businesses. We have similar philosophies, similar personalities, similar work styles, and a high level of mutual respect for one another and the businesses that we built. So at the beginning of 2020, which was a great timing of things, decided to officially merge our businesses together. It was in December, January, right before everything sort of fell apart. So here we are, two and a half years into our merger into our new business, Endeavor Wealth Advisors.
Wow, congrats.
Yeah, it's been successful so far. Lots of integration now that we've returned from our pandemic hiatus. We're spending a lot of time and energy working to get our systems and our processes and our data combined.
Great. Yeah. And we will revisit that topic. You know, the 18-year separation is really interesting because our CTO at Holistiplan, he and I worked together in a different industry. We were in the energy business in 2001. We were in the same room when September 11th happened, went our separate ways, and then got together actually at the beginning of 2020 after all those years apart. And it was a similar deal. Like, we just got along great when we worked together, but kind of did different things. And then we just happened to be at a place where we were both looking for something new at the same time. So super interesting coincidence there, 18 years or something special.
There must be something about the
something about that number. Yeah. Fantastic. All right. Well, looking at your website and getting to know you a little bit before this call, one of your focus areas that you mention on your website is working with women clients. And I'd be interested in learning more about, you know, how you landed on that focus area, and then what are some of the unique issues you encounter working with specifically targeting women as clients.
Mm-hmm. It's been an interesting journey for sure. When I went out on my own, which is now about 10 years ago, there were a number of clients who chose to continue to work with me. And it was recommended to me that I meet with those clients and ask them what they liked about working with me. Interestingly, the majority of them were women. And I spent some time talking with the women about what they liked about working with me. And I was solo at that time. So the answers that they gave me were the foundation of developing a focus and marketing on working with women. They liked working with me because I gave them time. I made them feel that, you know, their time was valuable, and the time that I spent with them, helping them understand the time that their money would last for them. And this one client really emphasized this time aspect and understanding how to make the most of the resources that they had. And that was pretty consistent throughout the meetings that I had with the folks. And so I developed a marketing plan around having guided conversations about money for women. And started hitting the pavement, right? That's what we do. And planned these in the beginning, very elaborate events because I had a lot of time. So I could plan ahead, and I had little party favors, and I was networking in the community. Of course, I already had relationships in the community, in the financial services, the attorneys and accountants. Went to events focusing on women, met 2 or 3 new people, took them to coffee, invited them to my events, which for me gave me a way in which to present my skills, because I am pretty introverted. And so all that stuff was, not that comfortable for me. And over time, then the referrals started coming in of women. And we also have found that in our clientele, there's many couples, but there are couples in which the woman has a voice, a significant and equal voice in the financial decisions. And then Kara, when she was building her business, because we didn't get together for a few years, found the same thing, I think.
Yeah, very much so. And I think a lot of it has to do with you sort of attract what is similar to you. We happen to be women, and women do like to work with other women. At least that's what we've found in the women that have chosen to work with us.
Mm-hmm.
So that's been exciting for us. We understand the what it's like to be a woman. We understand what it's like to be a woman in a professional setting. So we have a lot in common, and we really strive to bring that level of comfort and trust to each relationship that we develop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I applaud the focus. This may seem like a tangent, but I promise it's not. Did y'all see the movie Nomadland? Did y'all see that movie?
I've not seen
no.
that.
It
It's
won
on my
the-
list.
It
Netflix.
won the Academy Award. I saw it on an international flight. This is like a year ago, just randomly, and only afterwards did I realize it won like Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actress. And I immediately read the nonfiction book afterwards upon which it was based. And I don't remember the exact stat, but it was fascinating to me to read that among senior citizen women, the incidence of poverty is far beyond that of their male counterparts. And there's several reasons for that. One of them is for various cultural reasons, women in many times are pulled out of the workforce for caregiving reasons. That's a thing that happens. Even when they're in the workforce, there's a pay gap. And so the ability to save is different. But then also downstream of that was the amount of Social Security you can collect as a result of your earning power over your whole life. And that to me was really eye-opening, because it just shows that women as a population, the stakes are that much higher for good financial planning, because I guess there's less room for error. You know what I mean? Like, you have to work that much harder because you have that much of a headwind in all parts of your earning power. And that really was eye-opening to me. I didn't realize that stat until I saw it, but then when I did, it made total sense. And so to me, like, there's almost a moral imperative to make sure that great, like, complete financial planning is available, especially to women who don't have all the advantages that their male counterparts have in the workforce. So anyway, I'm preaching to the choir, but like, that was kudos to y'all for focusing on that area, because I mean, clearly it's an area where not just investments, but planning can make a big difference. So anyway, that's me on my soapbox saying y'all are doing great. So
Thank you, Roger. Well, and it's interesting to hear you share that, because one of the things that we were talking about when we prepared for this is the generations of our clients. Like, our clients span quite a wide age gap range. Many of mine are more in retirement, whereas Kara's working with working women. So it makes me think, how do you think that the desire to save and plan in the 40 and 50 and 60-year-old women is different because of some of that knowledge?
Yeah, probably. And I think the world has changed a lot. It still has a long way to go, but I think the world has changed, and that there are more women in professional work settings, or more female business owners. Quite a few of my clients are female business owners with a very high earning potential. That wasn't the case, several decades ago, or when your clients were coming up. So it's interesting to see how that spans across our client base.
yeah,
We get to see how that is changing in real time.
Yeah.
And certainly empowering the women to be good savers and good investors and good planners along the way. And that's what we really try to do. Less of the, do what I say, and more of a let us help you approach, which seems to be successful, at least in our firm.
Great.
Yeah, and we'll see how that changes in the generation, because many of the women clients that I'm working with who are in their late 70s and 80s, and they were in traditional, more female traditional employments at that time, but then their husbands have died and now they're the sole manager of the money, and they have I think more fears of running out of money, and there's a lot of fears that women have that are usually described as living under a bridge, and it'll be interesting to see whether the younger folks have that, because they've been more empowered at a younger age and earlier in their careers to save their own money.